So quick question for the day, guys. What is your fantasy football philosophy on making trades at the trade deadline when your team is doing very well? 9-0, 8-1. You're cruising, but you're hearing us talk about playoff matchups or players that, we don't love what they're doing in weeks 14, 15, 16. So how do you approach that?
At this point of the season, let's say I'm 9-0, 8-1, like you said, this is when I'm okay starting to kind of unload some of my depth. I know that I can absorb a loss or two if things don't bounce right, because I still have a bye week situation. I'd never want to lose, but I'm willing to start really doing those 2-for-1s. We talk about 2-for-1s a lot because that's great. I always feel like I win when I do those, but I want the best optimal starting lineup I can get. If I can trade a good player and a good bench player and I can get a superstar for my starting lineup, I'm going to do it. I'm going to start preparing my team to have a positional advantage in every slot so that my decisions are very easy. Come the playoffs, I don't have this, oh crap, I have 5 guys. I need to pick the right 2 because you're not going to get it right. This is science. Science backs that up.
It's hard. It's hard to get it right, to make the right pick every single time when you got – those are the hardest questions for us when the listeners send them in. It's, okay, I've got these 5 great players. Which two do I start?
So I start focusing on that, the starting.
So you're willing to rock the boat?
Yes.
Okay. Jason, what is your thought?
My thought would be this is the time when I really start looking at the playoff schedule. I know I'm in the playoffs. I know I'm going to be there. What weeks are my league's playoffs? Generally, you're talking about 14, 15, 16, and I start looking at the guys that have really good matchups. Or on my team, I go, man, he's got an atrocious matchup. And so I'm not ever going to trade, a better guy for a worse guy based on, he's got a better matchup. But if I find that I've got a guy on my team who's just got terrible matchups and there's a guy I like just as much who's got really good matchups, I might sweeten the pot to go get him and really plan for those weeks and make sure that I'm going to make it through those.
And for guys like that, I'm not counting I do that as well, but I do not count elite players. There's a lot of buzz. Julio Jones gets Josh Norman twice in the fantasy playoffs.
I'm glad you're bringing that up.
I don't care.
Yep.
He's Julio Jones. I do not care. I'm not trading him for A.J. Green or some – A.J. Green is also elite, but Julio Jones is the best receiver in fantasy football right now until Big Ben comes back. But I'm not scared of that. I'm letting it ride. Don't care.
That was going to be my follow-up question because I got a lot of them yesterday. All right, we don't – Julio's got Carolina twice. What do? Well, you play Julio Jones.
Julio Jones.
And some of the trades were things like, do I get Brandon Cooks and blah, and I was like, no, because if Brandon Cooks takes advantage of a matchup, maybe he ends up like Julio Jones.
The way you can beat Josh Norman is up top.
Yeah,
Josh Norman is 6 foot. Julio was 6'3". I think Julio will be fine.
Yeah, and if we've seen anything from Carolina lately, just to give you some encouragement, Carolina's been giving up points later in games, and I have a feeling they'll be winning those. So